What is going on, guys? It's Yoji. Welcome to this video in which I will recap my first 2 weeks of the league. I will tell you about the best maps that I found for Delirium, which are really great for the best rewards and really good to clear, and just give you the most splinters and allow you to get the Delirium counter up the most from what I've personally found while playing for the last 2 weeks and really focusing on engaging with the league mechanic and trying out different maps and different layouts and different clearing strategies of clearing Delirium. And I also want to talk a bit about the state of Delirium now after the patch and before, and the negativity around the league mechanic in the community that has struck, especially the subreddit, within the last like 2 weeks or so. And lastly, I want to give you a little bit of a general content update and an IRL update, just about like the whole stupid, crappy health crisis timeline we currently live in, and what that means for my current IRL situation and for the channel and everything, because as I'm guessing all of you, it also affects me, of course, and we kind of all have to like pull through and make the best out of this as we can. So first of all, for the recap of my first 2 weeks of the league, I started in Trade League, made an Ele Hit Wander Inquisitor, played it until around level 90ish or something like that, and yeah, just got into early rat maps and kind of felt like the character was okay, but I didn't really enjoy the playstyle. I think I'm just not a ranged boy, I'm a melee boy deep in my heart, so I didn't really enjoy the playstyle overall. Even though it was a really strong and really fun character, I just wasn't feeling the playstyle. So I switched over to a Lacerate Gladiator bleed build, which is kind of a meta build, but with having like a week late start, I kind of wanted to play a tried and strong build in SSF, because when the rewards of the league mechanic were up so drastically, I kind of felt like the Trade League might just go completely into the dumpster, because with all these crazy rewards, I think inflation of exalteds will skyrocket and the whole market will just feel really weird. And also with that many rewards, even with a late start, SSF will work really well for me. Yeah, so far Lacerate Gladiator has been a blast. I'm currently into like early tier 14, 15, 16s. Did my first tier 16 map today, and you know it's a weird timeline if the first tier 16 map you successfully complete is a Val Temple map. So as promised, I want to explain a little bit about the Delirium mechanic, how to get splinters, and now I want to talk a bit about Delirium, how to maximize rewards, how the mechanic works, now with the patch state being probably what the final state of the league will end up being, with more clarity, less rippiness, and for example the splinters being dropped in the end altogether, which in my opinion actually makes it harder to see where the splinters actually came from, and it makes it harder to maximize around getting the splinters, because you don't really see where you even got them from. You just get them all in the end and you're like, okay, this time I got like 10 splinters, last time I got 5, okay, next time I got 20, but what did I actually do to get the splinters? But also just maximize the reward counter at the bottom, and finding maps where you can do that without having to backtrack much and without having to go back to loot or skip content. And for me personally, 2 maps really stand out when it comes to Delirium farming, and that is, first of all, the best, in my opinion, is the Tropical Island map. Now, the reason for that is Delirium works in a way where the more monsters you kill, the higher the reward counters go. So you want a map with good mob density. But at the same time, the further you go away from the Delirium starting position, the mirror, the higher the reward counter increase per mob gets, and also the more splinters and stuff you find. And lastly, bosses, Delirium bosses, but also in general the actual map boss drops a bunch of extra splinters. So you want to have a map where you can do reliably the map boss without any problems. So you don't want to have a phased boss or a boss that is really difficult to fight. And Tropical Island boss like this monkey gorilla dude is super duper easy to fight. He's like really a pushover. The map is long and linear. That allows you to really go further and further away from the mirror without really losing out on or missing any league content that might spawn any other stuff. So for example, unlike Strand map or Phantasmagoria, which are in my opinion really good maps as well, but not great because the mob density is just too low. I mean, you can juice them up, but just even in the base state, Tropical Island is really good. And there's the Pharaoh Lore Prophecy that has a guaranteed proc in Tropical Island, allows you to even add further packs guaranteed. So you have a guaranteed prophecy proc every map, and then you just juice it up with any scarabs, any Zana mods like Blight or whatever that you can, and just like zoom through the map, clear everything that you can, and kill the boss. And you want to do it on a tier where you can reliably get to the boss and kill it, and kill everything on the way without too much of a hassle. Currently, for my SSF Glad build, that is a yellow tier 9 Tropical Island that I can reliably reliably clear. I can't clear any higher right now, and you always want to clear the highest that you can reliably do, but not higher. So if you're struggling on a tier 14, 15, whatever map, you don't want to do that. You want to go back until you get to a point where you can reliably clear it, and the rewards will be there, trust me. And the other map that's really great is Lair map. It has a really good density, it is linear, and it is really, really easy to clear. The only problem is that makes it slightly worse. It's not quite as long, so you don't get that far away from the mirror from what I know. The upside of that is that it also doesn't get that difficult, and the boss is a fair bit harder. Usually you want to just get to him and nuke him down before he can do anything. If you can't do that, he can be a bit tricky because he can enter invulnerability phases, he can enter a damage reduction phase where he spams out the wolves, so you have to be a bit careful about that. But overall, the map is really, really rewarding and really insane, especially if you juice it up. And it has really great divination cards, which kind of makes it a bit better than Tropical Island for returns on the currency side. But since I don't care about that in SSF and I really want just maximum general reward numbers, for me personally, Tropical Island is better, but I think both really have their place in being farmed for Delirium. And before I get to the IRL stuff, I want to talk about the whole negativity around the Delirium League. A lot of people seem to really hate on the league on Reddit, but I think it might just be a few really loud voices. I don't really know, it's really hard to tell with these kind of things. But for me personally, I really love the league mechanic. I think it had some issues, especially in the beginning with like clarity, and I'm not a huge fan of on-death effects overall. I think they're a bit of a cheap way to threaten the player, which is kind of like really the goal here. But overall, I think the league mechanic is really, really good. And even in the beginning, I liked it. I liked the more difficult versions, like after the first patch. If you took the difficulty after the very first patch of the league, and then just add the clarity buffs and improvements to it that we have now, with like the red stuff being really visible in the fog, just like stack up rewards at your own pace. I kind of get where they're coming from with this. Kind of like really stresses you out. It forces you to play the game at the game's pace and not at your own pace. And in past leagues, especially Metamorph, the last league, which I think a lot of people might have started in even, that was really a league where you could play at your own pace. You could make the boss take all the time in the world and then fight the boss, the Metamorph boss. And unlike many previous leagues, you could play at your own pace. Also, Blight was a very like kind of slow-paced league where you, of course, we were forced to react to the Blight, but you could kind of do it in your own pace, and it kind of slowed the gameplay down. Legion was more of a okay, go, rush league, but it was only for the mechanic. It was kind of like the Breach, where you click the mechanic and then you do something really fast and then you can do what you want. Delirium kind of encourages you to play every map at max speed, start to finish, and I can kind of get how that stresses some people out and annoys them. But honestly, even if you don't like completely focus on it and rush through each map to chase the Delirium rewards, it's still so rewarding. Like even like the most normal tier 1 white map without anything with Delirium is probably about as juiced as an almost fully juiced map was last league. In my opinion, the league mechanic, even if you don't like fully get it to the end and like the splinters and whatnot, it's still rewarding enough, trust me. I don't really get lately this is not rewarding type of complaints. And overall, I personally been really enjoying the league. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the whole clear speed meta. I mean, I'm playing a melee build right now, like I'm kind of melee Lacerate. Feels kind of like a projectile skill a bit. But I'm not playing like full-on clear speed right now, and it's still really, really fun and really cool. So in my opinion, the league's really cool. I enjoy the intensity of the league. I enjoy that you actually have to pay attention, like where you dash, where you dodge, where you rush in and out of content. So that's been really cool. And by the way, talking about dash, if you haven't tried dash with a second wind support, do it on every build. I use it over Leap Slam on my Gladiator. It's so smooth. It feels so good. It's probably my favorite movement skill now, and it's so amazing. So yeah, dash everyone. Dash, the real MVP. If you want to look at any of my characters, by the way, look at the description. I'm gonna add a path of building of my scuffed Lacerate Gladiator bleed build. It's SSF, so the gear is kind of crabby all over the place. Still using tabular, not having proper weapons. Haven't had a Volnal hit ring drop yet, like a warrior, what's called Warlord ring. Didn't happen yet. So yeah, check it out if you want to. I'm also gonna link the Ele Hit character, but it's also like first week of the league gear, so don't expect too much. Just if you want to have some inspiration, check it out. And lastly, about the general situation, as you might have noticed, there was not a video last week, and before the trailer there was also like 1 week without a video. I didn't do any like in preparation of the league content, no like reviews of teasers or stuff like that. And that was mostly because I got married beginning of February, and then the whole like public health crisis situation that we currently have happened, so that didn't help either, and a lot of things were unclear because we are expecting a baby about 2 weeks from now. A lot of things were unclear. We had to get a lot of stuff sorted out before everything went on lockdown, because we still had to buy stuff, we still had to prepare the new kids' room, everything like that. So I was really busy during that time, and for me personally, like, being stressed and being busy kind of does not breed creativity as much, kind of doesn't allow me to get into a headspace where I can just like think about memes and content and what to make. And the other thing is that I of course didn't have that much time. And currently my work hours have been reduced, and we're working like in a shift system at work right now. Luckily my boss told everyone that the financial side is pretty much secured, and we all signed like a thing that we will have reduced work hours, but we still receive pay even if we don't work, which is really nice. So I'm kind of like in a safe state right now. I don't have too much to worry about anymore. And I'm also will be allowed to join my wife for when she's giving birth at the hospital, which was also kind of like not sure, and I was really worried about that for a while. So yeah, I kind of was really stressed out, had a lot on my mind, and wasn't really feeling like making content, which is kind of like why this video is more of like a Yoji rambles and not as much of a, yeah, I got this content planned out, this is a build guide, this is like what I've been playing, this is some highlights from what I've done, this is like some SSF tips or whatever. Those videos will eventually come back, but currently you'll have to do with a bit with Yoji rambles for now. I hope you still enjoyed it, and I hope you're staying safe in these trying times that we are in. Subscribe if you are new to this channel for more rambly content, and also some memes sometimes, if I can get to them. Thank you to all my patrons over at Patreon. I know I've been neglecting that side as well a little bit, but yeah, you're all amazing. Thank you for your support as always, and yeah, I'm Yoji, and I will see you guys in the next one.